Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Hey, Miss Grandy, this is Taylor Joe. I'm having some technical difficulties. For some reason, the Zoom won't work on my iPad, so I'm here with Blake.
Okay, thanks for telling me because I got to keep attendance.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to wait a couple minutes to let other people in. All right, I got 20 people in this class. So I'm not seeing that many people. Oh, I see some more. Okay, good. All right, I'm going to record you guys. And then that's how I'll be able to take attendance. So thus far, I have 10 participants. And that's how we're going to be able to take attendance. Okay. So welcome back, guys. I'm going to try to make you guys bigger. We didn't want to start out this way. I know that, right? But hopefully we'll be back by October, right? Wear your masks so we can get back here, right? Okay. It's APGov. I know you guys know that. And you also know that you're going to have to take the AP tests for the first time. Like it's going to be mandatory, right? You guys know that, correct? Give me a thumbs up if you know that. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Yeah. All right, y'all are the first class that's going to have to take it. Hopefully you'll be taking it in some people are still trying to get in. Hopefully we'll take it live, unlike this past spring where you had to take it online. But obviously it's going to be mandatory now. You got the DE component still, and I just found out that Mr. Eames, just like before with all the other senior classes, is y'all's instructor. He is really good, but I will tell you, he doesn't take late work. There were tons of times last semester where kids were working, trying to come up with all kinds of excuses, and he wouldn't budge for nothing. So I am warning you now, get your assignments for him in on time because he won't take them late and he won't take excuses. Does that make sense? I'm just warning you because I saw a bunch of people fail the DE portion of the course last year because he cut them off, closed the window, and wouldn't even open it back up for like a test, right? So just FYI, he's really good though. He's just received the principalship job at Sandville. Does that make sense? Do you guys know who he is? He used to teach here in the building, right? Way before I guess you guys would have come. I think he used to have Mr. Marlowe's room before Mr. Marlowe got there, right? All right, and so he told me to tell you guys that he hasn't even been allowed in in the Canvas portion yet. So he doesn't have anything set up, and he shouldn't have to because y'all don't start DE until like what, late August. And so he said he'll put out a video or even join one of our Zoom sessions to kind of introduce himself. Okay. All right. So unlike last year, I had the master's and you didn't need a second teacher. Now I don't have a master's in government. You are going to have a second teacher. So you are truly in a dual enrollment course in every sense of the word. You got the high school portion of this course. You have the AP portion of this course. And then you have my portion of the college level. And then you have his, right? And so it is like quad, not dual, right? You have 4 portions of this. So can you see my home screen? Yes? So you see my Canvas page? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah? Okay. All right. So I wanted to show you where you obviously are going to have to go to get all your work and such. But before I go to that, I'm just happy that you can see that right now. We're going to still do points, right? I'm going to highly incentivize these Zoom sessions by awarding points. Y'all know how on Zoom to like raise your hand? There's a little point that says you could raise your hand. You could also chat, right? Do you guys see the little hand option where you can raise your hand? So mess around in here and see like if you can figure that out, or you can just unmute yourself and answer questions. We're gonna do it the same style that we did APUS with review questions, so you can rack up some points. The only difference here is, in the past, I've only allowed you to utilize the points for tests, but based on, because of COVID and the craziness of this, if y'all bomb one of these quizzes, let's say you have a chapter 1 textbook quiz, then I'll just let you use some of your points to boost that up. Maybe on quizzes, instead of like a max of 10, we only allow a max of like 4 or something. Does that make sense? And so I know that not everybody is good at learning virtual. I think I would stink at it if I had to be y'all in y'all's shoes. And so we're trying to be flexible with that, but we're still going to have the point board. We're still going to have the ability to earn points until we obviously get back in person, and then just do it the old traditional style that y'all are very familiar with. Because I think everybody I have on this roll I've had before. Am I right? There's no one on this list that I haven't had in APUS, right? And right now, I think there's 20 of y'all. Okay, and so if you're looking at this page, this is my Canvas page. You should have something that looks like a dashboard, very similar to this, where you have 4 courses, right? The bad part about this is you have a Canvas for me, but then you're gonna have a Canvas for Eanes once he gets going. Does that make sense? And a lot of it will be duplicated, okay? All right, so you guys can see this. Give me a thumbs up if you can see this. Yes? Yeah? Okay, good. So you got the modules. I think you have announcements anytime I have an announcement. When y'all had these announcements, did you get a little number right here over in this inbox? Yeah, good. Okay, because whenever I get an announcement from you, I have a message right here that tells me that one of y'all sent me a message. I'm okay with this. I will tell you that I will find a question out faster if you hit me up on Remind, right? If you can't hit me on Remind, hit me up on email, because I can get an email on my phone just as fast as I can get Remind. So I think somebody already sent me a message in here, and I think they sent it last night. I didn't get to it till today. Had they sent me it on Remind, I would have gotten it instantly last night. Does that make sense? So Remind's going to be the fastest way to communicate with me, is all I'm trying to say. Okay, so that's where the announcements are. If you go to modules and assignments, these are the 2 places that you're going to find everything, modules and assignments. right? All right, and so right out the gate, I have from Eanes, and I renamed this today, Eanes Test Review Questions. My suggestion to you is to print this out. You don't even have to necessarily print it out. Download it, copy it and paste it into whatever you're comfortable with, whether it's like Word or a Google Doc or what have you. But these are his review questions. And so when we go through the PowerPoint, like what's going to happen is when you all get back, I'm going to print you this out before we start any chapter, or excuse me, any unit. So how Patrick Henry works is you, like APUS, are getting 6 credits. Y'all know this, yes? You have PLS 211 and you have PLS 212. So midway through the semester, we're going to wrap up 211 and begin 212. We didn't do that and focus on that as much in APUS, even though you were getting 6 hours, because I was the only teacher. So it wasn't an issue, but now it's definitely an issue. So this is test reviews are what is going to be mandated information content-wise from Eanes. So my suggestion is, and this covers usually 3 of our PowerPoints or 3 of our chapters. Okay, so I would somehow save this, whatever you're comfortable with, in a Word, print it out, or save it to a Google Doc, whatever you're comfortable with, because we're going to be answering these as we go. And what you can see is that in the PowerPoints, I've color-coded numbers like in blue, like light blue. So it'll say something like, this pertains to question number 6, and it's light blue. And if it's light blue, that tells you that this goes in that test review document. Now, he's never going to collect this, but his tests are exactly like this, almost verbatim. So this is the best resource you have when you go to take his tests, okay? His tests are open note and open book, but they're timed. And so if you have this to use when you're taking one of his tests, it's like snap, 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 goes right on down the line, okay? So this is your lifeline. And honestly, I want to give you credit for doing it, so I'm going to collect it with your notes at the end of his unit. So for example, if unit 1 is chapter 1 and 2, I would collect this after chapter 2, right before I gave you a test. Does that make sense? Thumbs up if you get it. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Interrupt me. I have no problem, repeating myself or making something more clear. Okay. But again, I'd get to downloading this somehow and come up with whatever's comfortable for you. If you want to use Google Docs, if you want to use Word, because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to keep these. You're going to want to keep these because when you go to take the midterm, or I should say, when you go to take the final, and in this course of 6 credits, 2 courses in one, you're going to have 2 final exams, right? And you're going to want these because you're going to be using these to study for your final exam, which your first final for PLS 211 is going to be like October, right? In the middle of October or something. And then we begin 212 and we end that in December. Does that make sense? And he'll give you a better timetable. I can't look at his Canvas page. I'm locked out. And so when he gives you a timeline, I need one of you to share that timeline with me, okay? I can ask him for the timeline, but a lot of times if, I don't know, there's some kind of, snow day or a day where he'll manipulate those days. He'll change those days around. So I just need to know what schedule you guys are seeing. So we can all be on the same page, okay? But he is flexible in that regard. I'm just telling you, he's not flexible with late work. He just doesn't take late work, okay? All right, and so this is a lifeline. This is definitely, and I mean, sure, I'm gonna ask questions for your teacher quizzes and such, but for him, this is exactly what you're going to need in order to complete one of his tests. Okay. And so I would keep this. And when I would keep this, in any instruction I give you or any PowerPoints you're going through, always have a number that correlates to this. So if I'm saying, okay, I'm on slide 4 of chapter 1, and it's talking about the elite theory, in blue, it's going to say number 4. And you're going to know, oh, I got to get this down into that test 1 review sheet. Does that make sense? And I don't, honestly, I don't care how you do it. If you're going to, maybe print this out and just write in it, then you can just upload it to me later on for credit, if that's what you're most comfortable with, or, copy and paste it into Google. I think I've beaten this dead horse enough, but you all get that this is really, really important, right? Okay. All right. And so coming back to home, y'all can still see this, right? Okay. If I go to assignments, the thing I like about Canvas, and I've been using Canvas with Patrick Henry, so it was kind of an easy adjustment, is it has over here a to-do list. Like, this is what I have to do. And I think on y'all's dashboard, it's got your to-do list, and it's basically listing it by day, but it's all of your subjects, right? I love that. I think that that is so crucial. But I also got the calendar that I can rely on. And maybe you already know Canvas and this is all just repetitive for you, but I like the calendar too, because I can go to the 10th and I can say, okay, today's the 10th. What do I have to do today? What's due today? Does that make sense? So the calendar and this to-do list that's over on this side is really my favorite things, right? Okay, so going back to the dashboard, because your calendar's for all y'all's subjects, right? So I click on government, and I'm going to assignments. And the first thing that y'all see on your to-do list is this I side with quiz. Do you all remember taking this? If you had me first semester, you guys, I think I made you take this quiz, right? And so you're definitely taking it now because we're debating, and maybe things have changed. Maybe you have a different viewpoint, but this is that quiz. And so basically it's a political party quiz, and it goes like this. And basically you go through and you answer questions. Now, you honestly don't have to click on these show more questions, but if you do, it gives you more options. And you know what? You don't even have to answer all of the questions. I think if you answer about half of them, it's still going to tally what your viewpoint is, right? So this question says, should a photo ID be required to vote? I say, I don't know, yes or no. I could click on other stances, and they will give me an array of things, right? So basically, no, there's little evidence that there's voter fraud about this or whatever. But the bottom line is, I don't even know what they're talking about. Then I can click learn more, right? Or I can also do stats, which will take me to a different page and show me opinion polls for the whole country, for the state of Virginia, for the different parties, and so on. So I'm coming back to my quiz. And when I get down here, maybe, I could care less about electoral questions. I'm not going to click on this box. I don't know what the minimum voting age is all about, so I'm just not even going to answer that. I don't have to answer all of them. Al-Qaeda, I didn't even think they were a problem anymore, so I'm not going to answer that one. You don't have to answer them all. But then when you get down here to the bottom, and you can see I just ran through and answered minimally. Oh, and this is the other thing. If you're really passionate about something, you should put most. And if you could care less about something, probably didn't even answer it, then that's fine. Or if you just want to stay neutral on all of them, it will tally each of the questions equally. If if you know you're really passionate about this one and you put most, it's going to have more weight for this question than others. Okay. All right. So I'm coming on down to the bottom. And most of you did take this, but then a lot of you in the second semester did not take it. All right. Trending issue. We don't want this. Just skip it. Local issues. Skip it. What qualities are most important to you in a candidate? Skip it. And you're looking for this. Show my results. Right. So when I tally or when I push show my results, then it's trying to tally who I am, you know, what I am, right? And this was my ballot. So I didn't answer, I just jumped through and answered them. I don't care about any of the candidates that are non-contenders. The only ones we care about is Biden versus Trump, okay? And so you are going to answer these questions on I side with, and you can copy and paste it into the text box. You can copy it into a Word doc and then upload it. I do not care. But then you're going to go through and answer these. So what candidate did you most identify? If we go off of my fictitious answers, the 99% I must be Biden, right? Is this candidate Democrat or Republican? I would say Democrat, right? What candidate did I least identify with? Obviously, oh, don't do that for me. It was 5% Trump. So then I would put that. As you scroll through your answers compared to all the candidates, what question did you most stand alone in your answer? Now, how you're going to figure that out is like, these are my answers, right? And this is me versus everybody else, right? This is what Biden thinks. This is what Trump thinks. And so when you find yourself like all alone, that's the question you want, right? And then you have these themes. And sometimes because you didn't answer certain questions, it won't have your theme. So if it doesn't have your theme, just put NA. And you know, you might have a couple of NAs, not that big of a deal. But this is me with the star, right? And so in the question about collectivism versus individualism, however I answered this, I must be very collective-ish, right? Progressive versus traditional, I couldn't even find that in my results. So I just put NA. I didn't answer it, right? And you might have several NAs going on down here because there were certain questions you just didn't even answer. Don't worry about putting NA, okay? The most important thing is this. I need this desperately. And so all I did was basically put a star. Like I inserted a star and wanted to place where I was, okay? And so let me show you. So I put a star and that tells me where I'm at. And I'm gonna find that all the way at the bottom, right? So however many questions, I don't think I answered as many questions either. It called me this left wing, right? I am, according to whatever questions I answered, this is what I am right now, right? And here's Biden and here's Trump. And I need where to put you. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but we put you on a grease board according to where you were. And I use that when placing you in debates. Okay, so for example, if I have a real left-wing person about pro-choice, then on the other side, I'm gonna need someone over here. Does that make sense? And so this is why I need this. So in terms of this assignment, the most important part of this is this, okay? And so if you can't, you know, tell me where you are in this by inserting a star or what have you, somehow you got to take a picture of it and just send it to me on Remind. Because this entire assignment, this is the most important thing I'm getting out of it, okay? All right, and then for debate topics, because we're obviously going to set up a debate schedule, I want to debate Mondays, and we are going to debate online, right? And that's why signing up for Remind is going to be crucial. You're going to pick 3 debate topics that you're passionate about. You're not going to find that on I Side With. You might have when you were like taking the quiz and you were like, oh, yeah, I really care about that. But if you don't find enough, go to procon.org and you'll find all the debate topics, okay? And that's 3 topics that you would like to have, right? and then 3 topics that you don't want anything to do with. I mean, I know like some people are like, don't you dare put me in that abortion debate. I just don't want that one, okay? And I want to know that, so I never touch that one, right? Does that make sense? I don't need an explanation why. You don't even have to do this why part. You can just say, don't put me in da da da, don't put me in da da da, don't put me in da da da, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, and so that is your I side with quiz. You can, excuse me. You can share it with me. I don't need you to share it with me, because what I want is this shared in a text box, okay? But if for whatever reason you can't share it with me, you know, you could just share it like this and just email it to me, okay? But you really need to do that assignment, okay? And so if I'm looking at my calendar, that's literally that I side with quiz is like my first assignment, right? So y'all are color coded for me blue. Yeah, and that's due tomorrow. The I side with quiz and worksheet is due tomorrow, okay? All right, so in reference to the PowerPoints, I tried to keep this as normal as possible. And so something you would obviously be familiar with. If I go to my assignments, I also want to tell you we're still doing current events. So like if we have a Zoom session, the first 5-10 minutes might be current events, and you're getting points for current events, right? And you all know the point rules. You can lose points. If we have a huge amount of points and I need to start deflation, I need to start stripping those away, then I'll ask questions, and hopefully by October we're in class and I can take points away. If you're not using the points, we're also going to have an auction. I got socks, presidential socks, and all the other likes. We didn't ever have an auction last spring because of the COVID-19. So all the stuff from the auction, like I got Trump socks, I got George Washington socks, I got Lincoln socks. I have a mug, a brand new mug out of the box. So we got plenty of stuff. I think I still have a Trump toilet bowl cleaner thing. So we got plenty of auction stuff if you guys have leftover points at the end. All right, so if I'm in assignments, this is where I'm finding my PowerPoints. We are starting chapter 1 as soon as you get done with your I side with quiz. You want to jump into this. Now, usually I issue a textbook, and I would say if you want a textbook, I have it, but it's not the textbook Eames is using. So it's kind of a waste in my term. And unless you just want to use it as like, okay, I'm going to look up in the index what dual democracy means. And it would be in that. So if you physically need a textbook, I have them and I can issue them. But his textbook is on here. And when you go to his Canvas page, when you're allowed in later August, it'll be the same textbook, okay? And so we're going to have textbook quizzes. Y'all remember last year we did those guided readings, right? As evidence that you were doing, oh, you loved them, I know, right? You did not love them. And so this is going to be easier. Evidence that you've read the chapter, it's just a textbook quiz, okay? And so these will be assigned as evidence that you've read the chapter. And so the chapter is under modules, or excuse me, the textbook is under modules. And so let's say, for example, whatever you're using, you don't have the capacity to download such a big thing, then just let me know and I'll send you a textbook home. It's not going to be the textbook that Eames or I use, but it's still going to have the same information, okay? And you can just use the index to like search for things, just like you would use Google, right? All right, and so Here's some videos, other assessments. This is only AP related. This is AP study guide. So when we get more to, you know, taking AP, doing AP assignments, this is what will help you with that. These are AP videos. A lot of the videos Eames assigns, I'm assigning, so that we're not killing two birds with one stone. Okay, and here's the textbook. So if I click on the textbook, and you know, honestly, I just don't know what capabilities you have in terms of, you know, how much storage you have on your computer and that stuff. This takes a while to download. So, you know, I wished this textbook would do what the AP US textbook did, and it divides the book up into like 5 chapters each and gives you a downloadable for 5 each. So it's not so cumbersome, it's not so big. But this is the textbook, and it might take a while to download, right? But you're gonna need this. And if you want a physical textbook, it is kind of the same, there's just differences. And I can issue you a textbook. And what my AP US History kids have been doing is they have the textbook downloaded on Canvas as well, but they physically want one. So they've been coming around back to pick one up, okay? Oh, and if you have one of the ones from last year, because you didn't get to drop it off, you can drop that off as well. Okay, and so coming back to my assignments, all right, here's my first PowerPoint. It's 20 points because I'm going to make you fill out the fill in the blank, and I'm going to make you do the movie guides, right? And again, y'all know how this works. I'm not looking for complete sentences. I'm not really particular about, you know, what facts you thought were most important. But if you click on the PowerPoint and it doesn't work for you, the videos aren't embedded in it, then here are the videos down here, okay? And anytime, like if I give you an assignment and the video is duplicated, you've already watched it, so don't even worry about it, right? Okay, and so if you don't have PowerPoint, this is the link to Google Slides, and this will open it up in Google Slides, which most people have Google Slides, right? This is the note sheet, the fill in the blank, right? So the assignment here is just to copy this note sheet, copy and paste this note sheet, and then either put it into the text box or put it into a Google Doc and just upload it. Does that make sense? So it's just like the notes as usual. And then you have a movie guide fact sheet, right? So it's 10 for the note sheet and then 10 for the movie guide fact sheet. All right. Any questions about any of that? And this is just extra info. A lot of this info came from the AP government people, okay? The Virtual Virginia AP module, right? And it's just extra. It's just pretty much the same information that's in the PowerPoint, right? What else? And so after each chapter is read, then there's a textbook quiz, a chapter 1 textbook quiz, a chapter 2 textbook quiz, instead of the guided readings, right? We talked about Eames. We're gonna do debates every Monday, right? We're still gonna do the point board with points, and based on how those quizzes are going, you know, you might have bombed chapter 1's quiz. Didn't read the chapter, you just half-hearted it, and you need points for that. And then you can we can discuss that, because obviously with COVID, you're learning on your own, a lot of it, and so it's definitely changed, okay, how we adjust those. But then whatever points you don't use, you can have them roll over just like they have in the past, right? Okay, are there any questions?
Miss Granny. Okay, so my iPad for some reason has none of the apps that it's supposed to have. Like I don't have Zoom or Canvas or anything. And I was trying to like download them and that's not gonna work. So do you know what I should do about that? Can I? Because like it won't let me sign into Canvas on my laptop.
This is what like the self-service looks like.
Keeps loading.
Huh.
And it won't let her like have any like Canvas apps or like not even like.
I can get Canvas on like the internet, but I can't do Zoom on my iPad. Do you know what I would do about that?
Is this one of the school issued ones?
Yes.
Yes.
And the
I,
self-service isn't working.
I
That's where,
thought
like,
they
all
were
the options-
supposed to put them on there, like they put it on there, but they didn't put it on there.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna take a note of that and go ask him, like after this Zoom, and then I'll reach out to you, okay?
Thank you.
Because of the DE portion, maybe he has to give you something else. Does that make sense?
Maybe we get a Mac or something.
And if need be, I can check you out a Mac. Because I
Okay.
have like 30 Macs that are just for you guys alone. Like the Macs were given to the APGov8 teacher for sole purpose of DE. So I can go ask if I can check the Mac out to you. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
If anybody's having tech problems like that, because of the level of this course, you need to let me know, because you can't be struggling with that. The course is hard enough as it is. Does that make sense? And so if it's your iPad, I mean, if you have stuff on your own, then that's fine. But if you have whatever the school is issued and it ain't cutting it, let me know, because they have given us stuff and they're just sitting here collecting dust. And so I check it out to you, Miss Gravely lets me, and then you bring it back and whatever, right? So I'll go ask about that. It's Taylor, right? Nobody else? Is anyone else having an issue? No? Okay, good. All right, let me know if you are having an issue, right? Okay, so anyway, what you got to do until tomorrow at midnight, we have a Zoom session tomorrow where we'll begin chapter 1, and I will highly incentivize, that's all I can do, highly incentivize the Zoom session. So what I'm thinking about to highly incentivize is giving points for being in the Zoom session. Number 2, giving answers to quiz questions in the Zoom sessions to make it highly worthwhile to be in the Zoom session. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. All right. And so what I'll try to do is before each Zoom session, have the quiz up on my other computer and just be like, oh yeah, by the way, here's that question. How would y'all answer that? And we can discuss it. Does it make sense? Because like not doing Zoom and doing this all on your own, well, y'all might as well be just, solely in college, because that's what they do in college, right? We don't forget that you're also in high school, right? Okay, and so I'm going to take a picture of who has been in here, right? Because this has to take attendance too. And so if a person isn't in a Zoom session, I'm taking a picture, you guys. If a person isn't in a Zoom session and they haven't done any of the logging into Canvas on a daily basis, I have to mark you absent. Does that make sense? So we are taking roll. Now what they've suggested is that we take roll like once a week. And so I haven't heard from such and such all week long. Well, I'm gonna go into Power School and I'm gonna mark him absent. Does that make sense? That's what I'm gonna have to do, right? And so it's kind of complicated with this, but hopefully we'll be back into normal situation. Also, the first 10 minutes of Canvas, we want to do current events. And with government, AP Gov, current events is like way more important, right? So like right now, government-wise, what are we anticipating big time? Look, me shutting up, and this is you answering.
The election.
Oh, yeah, that too. But I mean like something within the next hour to the next couple of days. Well,
What?
you got an answer? I'll give points. Look, I'm giving points.
You were giving points? You know, I'll give an answer for you.
You got an answer?
Is Trump talking about something?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, like within the next hour or day or two. Y'all in a bubble.
Pretty much.
You play for the NBA. Y'all like iced out from the rest of the world.
Is he talking about TikTok?
Oh no, that's a good one though. I like that one. So what's wrong with TikTok? Taylor?
It's
getting banned?
Yeah, he made a ban, and we can't have it.
Wait, are they actually banning it?
Who's he?
Yeah, it's the
Pronoun
next-
without an antecedent?
Trump.
Trump. Yes.
China's.
Did
owning
Will
it.
just steal Taylor's point?
No,
Yes, I believe
Will,
so.
no.
That was definitely a steal. She wasn't clear
That
on
was
who
totally an interception.
No, it wasn't.
intercepted it
Oh, I
one-handed.
can't stand you.
Sorry, Taylor. He just totally intercepted your point. You can't use pronouns without antecedents. You got anything else, Taylor?
China owns it.
Is that a problem?
Microsoft needs to buy it.
Yeah. Are y'all TikTok fans?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love TikTok.
TikTok. All right. Anything else?
No, it's not executive action, is it?
Oh yeah. I got that. Uh-huh. So who's he? Trump has done a
Trump.
bunch of executive actions. They're called executive orders, big time, yeah. But there's one other. All right, you ready? Biden is about to announce who his VP running mate is going to be. Like, I'm talking hours. Does anybody have any guesses? He said it's going to be a
Kamala
what?
Harris.
Huh?
I think it's gonna be Kamala Harris.
Me too. I think it's going to be her. Or Susan Rice, because he got along with her when they worked together under Obama. But yeah, and he said it's got to be a what?
A woman.
It's got to be a woman. So we know it's going to be a woman. If it's not a woman, holy cow, he's going to have a whole of storm coming down, right? But then with Black Lives Matter movement, we think it's going to be an African-American woman, right? If it's not an African-American woman, I would be really surprised, right? Okay. All right. So keep track of the current events because the first 10 minutes of class will do those, right? You just like normal, if you were in class, are going to have to be specific with the current event. You know, you're going to have to be detailed to get the current event. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. And so any questions? If y'all want a textbook, I am telling you, it's not the textbook, but it will give you the same information, just not in the same order. It will be more like a point of reference that you could Google probably better, right? The PowerPoint has all the content though. And I would say with that review sheet, Eames's review sheet, we just work through that. And then that is everything from the textbook. If you struggle with downloading that textbook. I wish Henry County bought the right textbook, but they haven't. What, Bryson? What were you holding up? Your phone? I can't hear you. All right. And so, do you guys like COVID? Isn't this fun?
I was
No.
talking to my mom.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. And then you didn't know you were on mute. I'm just kidding. All right. And so, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Did you guys join Remind, right? Everybody's joined Remind? All right, so the thing you're working with today is the I Side With quiz. Don't take it too seriously, but you've got to complete that I Side With worksheet. And then that way, by tomorrow, when you have completed it, I'm gonna have a list of debate topics for us to start voting on. And then through this whole week, I wanna devise a debate schedule. So what I'm gonna ask you is, once we have a set of debates, and I might send it to you on Remind, then you're going to be saying, okay, what's my first choice? What's my second choice? What's my third choice? And such, right? But you are going to be debating once a term, once a marking term. So what is that? You're going to have to debate 3 times, right? Because we have 3 marking terms. And most of you who had me first semester already did that, and we're well ahead of the curve in terms of this. Those of you in the second semester, we didn't have the chance to do that because of time, right? Okay, any questions? No? All right, I can't wait till we're back together normal, right? So you can enjoy your senior year. All right, it won't be long. We'll get these numbers under control, right? 5 million COVID numbers, woo. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Randy.
See ya.